On this episode of Beer, Blues, and BS, Kidder and I are breaking down all the action that happened at Clash at the Castle. I know we're a bit late on that, but, we haven't been doing the live shows. But that's okay. And hey, if you're not a wrestling fan, that's cool too. We got plenty to talk about. We're going to talk some more TV, what we're doing. And hey, I'm working on a project, and, my nickname, the living embodiment of Charlie Brown, might come into effect. It's an interesting story. Hopefully it'll make you laugh because, it's just the kind of stuff that happens to me. And, the good news is it's happening to me and not you, which means you're in a good place. Welcome to the show.
It's Howard Blues and the Mark Kidder. Pour a cold beverage, pull up a seat, enjoy time with friends.
Triple B! Well, the Triple B sucks. Okay? Oh, come on.
Whatever, man. This is Beer, Blues, and BS. Online at beerbluesbs.com.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Beer, Blues, and BS, the podcast that knows exactly where Carmen Sandiego is, but we're not telling. I am your host, the living embodiment of Charlie Brown, Howard Blues, here, as always, with my co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, the Mark Truckin' Kidder. Kidder, how you doing tonight?
Not trucking.
Listen, I said I had to try that at least 3 times, so I'm done.
I mean, I'm not trucking. Might truck tomorrow. We'll see. Tomorrow's a new day. Yes, it is.
How much trucking could a Mark Kidder truck if a Mark Kidder could truck?
That just sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah, and some really bad grammar.
Yeah, classic. Well, I'm here. We're in the flesh. Another show. Another promotion. What are we talking promotion? This show. Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you?
Kidder, I have that opening line where I say I'm the living embodiment of Charlie Brown, and I am the living embodiment of Charlie Brown. So I got a project that I want to get done this weekend. The steps up to my deck in the back have been falling apart, and the screws are no longer holding the steps in. In fact, my toddler, my 2-year-old, can actually lift the one stair up and was nearly ripped the board in half. So either I got the world's strongest toddler or this wood is shot, and I'll tell you it's shot. So I need to get some lumber, and I needed a circular saw, and some sawhorses would be nice. I have none of these things. So I asked my father-in-law to come over, and he came over tonight, and could not get these boards off. The screws were all so stripped that we couldn't get them out. So we got some out. Some of the boards though were so bad, and were, thanks to all the rain, so soggy. I just ripped them off, which that was kind of fun. But here's the part, Kidder, where I think you'll get a kick out of it because it is me. I had my
step at a time.
I had my cordless drill, trying to get some of these stripped screws out, so I'm kind of pushing in, trying to get it to go. Kidder, my drill started on fire.
All right.
Smoke, flames, everything.
And what kind of drill was this? So then people watching or listening won't buy it?
Well, the good news is it's a Craftsman, and I don't believe they make those anymore. So you're safe, people. But yeah, no, I had sparks shooting out of it. I thought it was kind of cool. My wife was like, "Stop it. Before you burn the whole place down." I'm like, "It's raining. I'll just throw it out in the yard."
Yeah. Because you and I got basically the same drill.
Yeah, well,
while ago.
I used to have that drill. So Howard's what should have been a not too expensive, project. Couple, about $100 or so in lumber. Put this together and some screws. $600, Kidders, for me to buy a new cordless drill, and I bought there was a combo pack at the place where you can save big money. So I actually got, a cordless drill and impact driver and circular saw and a reciprocating saw and a light and bag to put it all in. 2 batteries, charging station. Yeah. But yeah.
And what's the new brand?
I just went with the Master Force. It's the same company that
big money brand.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was looking at reviews in the store while I was making the purchase. While my father-in-law was getting what he needed at Menards, and like most of the reviews were like, it's average to above average. It'll work for the basic homeowner. I'm like, yeah, that's me. So
Basic Howard.
Basic Howard, yes. Basic Howard is basic and thirsty, very thirsty. I think it's time for us to stop enjoying the misery of me setting my drill on fire and get to everybody's favorite segment of the show. What's on tap? Kidder, what you having?
We have been pontificating a bit there, so we need to get to it. So let's see. What do we have? Couple things left here, but man, I don't know if I want to. Yeah. I'm gonna do this one. The Woodchuck Chuckers, just a woodchuck hard cider. Granny Smith tart green apple. Nice shiny green can. The original American hard cider. It's 5% alcohol by volume, 12 fluid ounces, 355 milliliters. Made in Vermont, home of Super Troopers. It's gluten-free. What else do we have on here? Ball Corporation aluminum. Right there on the side. I will take it. Yes. Look at that glorious Ball Corporation aluminum logo. 150 calories in this can, no fat, 10 milligrams of sodium, 13 grams of carbs, 10 grams of sugar, includes 10 grams of added sugar. Okay. So that's weird. There's 210 milligrams of potassium in this. Hard cider, less than 1% of natural flavor and sulfates, lightly carbonated, no artificial ingredients. Canned by Woodchuck Cidery, Middlebury, Vermont, 05753. Blended with Granny Smith apples for a crisp taste that finishes tart and tangy. And then the Surgeon General's warning about things. So let's put this into the old North Dakota Yeti Fighting Sioux edition. See how this turns out, huh? Got that cider smell, so good. Kind of smells very tart. A little appley as well, as one would expect from a Granny Smith apple cider. So, cheers! Not what I was expecting.
Uh-oh.
And I'm disappointed.
It's never good when your drink disappoints. So is it just not Granny Smith appley enough? Is it too appley? Is it got cherries in it? Details, man.
It tastes more like apple juice.
Ugh.
But a cider apple juice. And you know how much I like cider, like apple cider. And apple juice, I like apple juice, but I was expecting Granny Smith, very like sour, the tart, and there's just Not enough of it. It tastes like alcoholic apple juice, which, I mean, that's one of the ingredients of what it is, so I can't fault that part of it, but it just isn't there for the Granny Smith apple. On the end, the longer I marinate on it, it does have that taste of the peel of the Granny Smith, so just up front, I'm disappointed with it. Maybe it's because I'm not a huge, again, apple cider fan. I love like green apple Jolly Ranchers. It's not at that level. Anyway, it's 2.4.
Okay.
What do you have?
Kidder, I'm having one that you had just recently. It is the last of the Fat Fish Brewing Company beer that is in my fridge. It is the S'mores Porter. I was saving this one for last out of the Fat Fish, not just because it has a squatch on it, but this is the one I was probably the most excited about. It is a malt beverage with natural flavor and caramel color. It's got the Yeti on it. Well, Sasquatch, I should say. 5.6% alcohol by volume, and it is out of Dickinson, North Dakota. So we'll open this bad boy up. Yep, you can definitely get those nice chocolatey, caramely notes. I'm hoping this is good. Ooh. That is nice. It has a very nice sweetness to it that really does kind of remind me of a marshmallow. It's got that really nice. It kind of hits you with that right off the bat. Gets a little bitter with kind of like a darker chocolate sort of taste. But that marshmallow comes back in the aftertaste, and it's nice.
I felt I was missing the graham cracker.
Yeah, but the graham cracker would be a tough one to, to get into this.
Mm-hmm.
But it is good. I like this a lot. I would probably give this like a 4.5.
Very good.
This is enjoyable.
Excellent.
So, a nice.
Glad I was able to bring that back for you.
Yeah, and I'm glad I saved it for last. This is I've been really impressed with this Fat Fish Brewing Company.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really now kind of well, I guess they were established in 2018, which is when I was living in Dickinson. But I wish I would have given them a try before my last stint out there, because I probably would have gone to the brewery a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and I did not make it to the brewery. And so in the hypothetical land of having time and money, it would be awesome if we could take this show on the road and go to the Fat Fish Brewery for an episode. Or even across the river to a couple of them in Mandan or Laughing Sun in Bismarck.
Well, you know what would be fun, and again, time and money being the biggest hindrances to most things that we do on this show, would be fun to do like a North Dakota brewery tour, like pick a few days, travel, the state a bit, hit kind of different breweries in different parts of the state, do a little live show from each one. Could be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Could be fun. Although the fine beer created here in North Dakota.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to watch. Every now and then, North Dakota Tourism puts out grants for things like that, like to promote. So we could get a grant, Kidder, to do this.
We might have to utilize one of our AI friends to help write said grant.
What? You don't think I can write a grant? I'll have you know, sir. I have written several grants and been awarded them. Yes.
Excellent that you have been granted.
Yes, I have grant writing experience.
Now, granted, you write a lot, so
Not as much as I would like. Yeah, I miss that. That was more of a hobby for me in like high school and college, and I don't get to put pen to paper in the fun, creative sort of way very much these days. It's kind of sad. Kind of sad, kidder.
yeah. I do have to say, I have utilized the AI technology, and I'm thankful that it's there for the assist.
You know, it can be very, very helpful. I mean, we use it on this show pretty frequently now. Like it has saved a good amount of time for me because I use AI for really two things: for the thumbnail generation, because I can now get elements I need and cut down on like looking on Google, for specific things that will work. It's like if I just need a glass of beer filled with jelly beans, I just type that in and I get a glass of beer with jelly beans. And now I have, a thing that I can use. But our show descriptions for a while now have been done with AI. And it is helpful because I can just kind of really type in our chapters and a little bit about what we're talking about. And it provides all the fluff and energy and excitement. It even provides me the hashtags these days. So it cuts down some of what I have to do. And I greatly appreciate that because truthfully, I think the descriptions are much better than the ones I was writing. Because when I was writing them, I was writing them at the end of the process, right? So we record the show, I edit the show, I get the thumbnail done. The last thing I was doing was writing the description. And by then I was so sick of the episode that it's hard to be like, yeah, you got to check this out. It's amazing. It's like, yeah, I just want to be done. So I appreciate AI helping in that. I haven't used it for work. I haven't gone that far yet. But
I'm AI right now. I'm not even here.
What? Just been replaced with AI? Yeah. Did you get that? Did you check out Local Geek? And I wish he was here. He, for anybody who's been a long-time listener, you know that Local Geek was probably the first of us to really mess with AI. And he had it write a bedtime lullaby for his son about Chinese food. And recently he used a different AI program to actually put music and such behind it. Did you listen to it, Kidder, at all?
I did not have an opportunity.
For a song about Chinese food and for a lullaby, it was very much like Irish punk rock was the music it chose. I was not expecting that. I didn't listen to the whole thing. I listened to a part of it. I'm just like, is it interesting?
AI is very excited about its Chinese food in Scotland or Ireland.
Yeah. Irish Chinese food. Yeah. That was interesting to get from him. So, yeah. But yeah, what have you been playing around with AI and doing, Kidder? Because you said you've been using it, utilizing it.
Nothing interesting. I'll put it that way.
Are you using AI for evil again?
I can neither confirm nor deny these nor any other allegations at this time. All hail Zool.
Hey, speaking of artificial intelligence, I got an interesting message, Kidder. I woke up yesterday morning to a Facebook Messenger message from one Big D.
Huh.
And it simply said, "Go to bed. It's 2:30 a.m." And it came in at like 2:25 in the morning. So apparently, like, my phone still had Facebook pulled up or something like that, and so Facebook Messenger thought I was online. Big D saw that I was online at 2:30 in the morning and felt the need to scold me about it.
Right.
So, of course, I wrote back to him. I actually waited, Kidder, until it was 2:30 in the morning his time.
Ah.
Because,
Yep.
Yeah, that's what you do. And I wrote back, what are you doing up at 2:30 a.m.? Are you back on the Four Loko? Damn it, man. Go to bed already.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
To which then he gave me the, well, it was 2:30 your time, and Facebook showed you online. Oh, wait. Excuse me. I apologize, longtime listeners. I'm not using the proper Big D voice for this.
Yeah, I was confused. I thought Howard was saying all of this.
I'm sorry. Let me correct it. It was 2:30 your time, and Facebook showed you as online. And don't come between me and my Four Loko.
That is definitely Big D.
I know.
Straight from the business center.
Listen, it's the best impression that I do is Big D.
Pint glasses, shirts, and shower curtains available right now at streamlabs.com/beerbluesbs. Help us help you and Big D's Business Center.
Yeah. We're getting closer to August, Kidder, and that is when supposedly Big D is coming back to the States. So
he's probably timing it during my annual pilgrimage.
I was thinking he's just trying to get here in time for IPA Appreciation Month. It's happening, Kidder. I actually was perusing the liquor store, picking out what I was going to select for you and JS and the local geek.
You
for
go
IPA
ahead.
Appreciation Month.
You keep it.
No. I will be delivering these so that you can all enjoy and appreciate IPA.
With the amount of pine that's in those, maybe that'll help my grass grow. So just do some spreading in the lawn.
It'll be good. The best part about it, though, Kidder, is like, you're on all the time, so you'll get through the IPAs fast. But Local Geek and JS, they're here occasionally. So it's going to take them longer to get through them. So their IPA Appreciation Month is going to last a whole lot longer.
It's just depressing.
No, our IPA fans are all excited about it, man. I'm getting nothing but emails. Like, looking forward to IPA Appreciation Month. It's going to be the best month
all
of
of these real emails from real email addresses. I want proof.
Sure, give me a little bit of time to type it into, Google Gemini, and I'll have something for you. Sorry, I couldn't resist the AI callback.
How do I reach these kids?
Yeah. So, yeah, but it was interesting to see, or at least get a message from Big D. I mean, it's been radio silence for a while from him, and the last two shows we called him out, and now hey, he's all of a sudden bugging me at 2:30 in the morning.
Well, it's not like he actually saw the sections where we called him out.
No,
he doesn't watch this show.
He does not. He does not.
Clearly. I mean, it would help.
I mean, listen, he should at least be supporting this show. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Kidder. Today I had my store meeting because I sit on our store review committee so that I can help direct things to sites. And we had a book. It was this awful children's book given to us. This guy is writing books where he's personifying states. And it was the most stereotypical, North Dakota book, ever. Clearly somebody who just Googled North Dakota, grabbed a couple of things to fit into the story he had, and and it's all about the state of North Dakota, not realizing how great it is and feeling down, comparing itself to the other states. And I just it was terrible, but we were talking about kind of looking at the author and such. And one of my coworkers goes, well, he's from Indiana. And I'm like, well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, but it was we did not decide to carry it because it was like bad. And I mean, really bad. You know, when the state of North Dakota is like, well, all I'm known for is cold winters and wind and farming. But yes, I thought a big deal that came up. That was from Indiana. So,
Yet another letdown.
Yeah, always. So, Kidder.
Yes.
Trying to think if I've done any. Like, I had just such a busy week. I haven't even watched the newest part of the GeoWizard Straight Line missions. I haven't really watched any TV. I haven't played any video games. It's just been depressing, man. So I'm trying to think of man, what have I done that we can talk about? Kind of used it all when I said my drill started on fire at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
So, what have you been up to? Please tell me you've been leading some sort of exciting life.
Went to Inside Out 2 on Tuesday. And it was all right.
I was just about to say, and how did it leave you feeling?
I wanted to strangle anxiety.
You know, I'm sure they make a pill for that.
Yeah, they got to give it to the creators of the movie. Chill. I didn't even remember the first one. Forgot that it was based in Minnesota and the main character plays hockey. Forgot all about it.
Yeah, you know, I saw Inside Out and it was all right. It wasn't my favorite Pixar movie. It was kind of just a movie. It wasn't bad. It just, I don't know. I haven't had any real interest because I've seen the trailer. Just kind of meh.
Animation is nice.
Yeah. I mean, it's Pixar. Their animation is usually top notch. It just did not feel like a story that I needed more of, you know? But that is the Hollywood problem right now, is everything is a sequel, a prequel, or a reboot. Well, there are a few things that are coming out. God, what's that one? It's got the guy who voices Archer. It's like the inside of the guy.
John Benjamin?
Yeah. I don't know if have you seen the trailer for this? It's kind of like a dystopian world. His family was killed by these evil people, and so it left him deaf and mute, and so he's on his revenge tour. But the voice inside his head is John H. Benjamin, because it was the voice of the one arcade fighting game that he remembered, and so that's his inner voice that kind of narrates his thoughts throughout the movie. Have you seen this?
No. Boy Kills World? Is that it?
Yep, that's it. Boy Kills World. You'll have to check out the trailer for it, Kidder. Hey, I saw some Star Trek news.
Really?
I did. I saw that Paul Giamatti, the world-renowned actor, has signed on to play the big villain in Starfleet Academy.
Yes. I was going to mention that last week and I forgot.
Well, you did mention that there was some casting that had been done yet, but you didn't say anything. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. Gives me some hope. I like Paul Giamatti, so. And apparently he's a Star Trek fan.
As most logical people are.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people really got turned on to that franchise with, those newer movies that they put out.
I'm sorry, I was just trying to keep lunch where it's supposed to be there. Yeah. Yeah. Doctor Who. I think the season finale aired tonight. Available for streaming.
I have yet to watch any of the new season. And I gotta say, Kidder, I know you have shared a little bit of your viewpoints on it, and that has not really made me want to go, woo, Doctor Who.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, I definitely haven't been that way watching. So think back 20 years ago, ish. To, I mean, like 18 years to watching Doctor Who in the apartment and like, wow, this world's crazy and they're on an adventure. And what's this? This is a mystery. This is crazy. This is cool. Like, wow. Okay, how are they going to do this? Mumbo jumbo, wibbly wobbly, timely wimey. And oh, this is crazy. And now it's like bash you in the head with things like other shows.
Yeah. I know we have talked about this quite a bit lately. You know, the whole, we don't really want messaging in our shows. And it's not that we care. Like, I'll put it this way. It's not that we're like about a certain topic or that. It's just, this is not why you and I tend to watch stuff. You know, we tend to watch for entertainment, for escapism.
The adventure, the mystique.
Right. To escape this world, politics, all of the... And so that's why I think, like, for me, I know I get frustrated with it, because it's like, it's not where I'm going to for this stuff. I just want my escapism.
Too bad, Howard.
I mean, I would feel this way about any kind of thing. I just don't want my shows to be preachy. You know, it's like I view it the same way as my reading material. I don't read lit as in literature, like what people consider high literature, because it's filled with this same, messaging and da-da-da-da-da. No, I tend to read stuff that is just, light. And, well, it's not always light, but it's fantasy, it's escapism, it's action, it's excitement. It's, I'm not reading, as I said, what's probably on the New York bestsellers list.
Transformers.
Yeah. I mean, right now I am reading Warhammer lore. So I'm reading Felix and Gotrek. I always want to call him Gotek, and it's Gotrek. It's basically a man and a dwarf killing things. That's good enough. It's escapism.
Something that was based in fantasy, but, had real world elements. CSI Vegas. I watched the rest of the episodes, and would have been an interesting next season. And sadly, there it is. Not there. Too much money to produce, so gone.
Which is sad, because there's also, like, I don't know. I feel like TV is just not that good these days.
It's a lot of cheaply made stuff, even though a lot of the sets for some of these shows are huge. The production value is so low that they're able to return their investment easily.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really feel like there's anybody who's really writing or creating like stuff that I just have to go out and see. That's how I am. Of course, I don't watch a lot of TV to begin with, so I'm trying to get through this one so I can get to my other beer, Kidder. And especially because I want to finish this, because I know we are going to review Clash at the Castle. And I have a feeling I'm going to have to take some penalty shots, and nothing that I have in the old if you know pile will really taste good next to this, So I'm trying to quickly finish it before we get to Clash at the Castle. Oh, you know what I did manage to catch, Kidder? I lied when I said I didn't get any or watch anything. I did manage to catch. Have you watched any of Vice's documentary on Who Killed WCW?
That one I have not watched. Eric Bischoff.
You know, I'm gonna say it. The series is being produced by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's production company, and it's with the guys who did Dark Side of the Ring, and so it's got a lot of the same feel as Dark Side of the Ring, but not quite. And what's interesting is I've watched the 3 episodes that are out. And then I have been watching some commentary on it, or at least listening to some commentary on it. And what's interesting is the commentators have been pointing out a lot of things wrong in the docuseries. Dates that are wrong, timelines that are wrong. Yeah, just things that don't quite line up in those regards. The series itself, it feels like when I've watched it, it feels very all over the place. Like the first episode, which you can find, they put it out on YouTube. You can watch the first episode. Like it breaks down like the fall of WCW, like in the first like 20 minutes, like just rapid fire, just poo, 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 poo. And you're just like, holy cow, I wish you'd stop and explain some more of this. And then it kind of goes back and it kind of explains some things, but it doesn't dive into all the details on things. And it like, I can't tell you how many times where, you know, somebody will say, the people at Turner Broadcasting just didn't really want us, you know, didn't want wrestling in their portfolio. And then they'll cut to some executive like Brad Siegel who goes, yeah, I didn't really want WCW in my portfolio of stuff that I managed. But there's no, like, they don't ever really like dive into that or get into the complications of things. But I mentioned like how there's stuff that's like wrong. Like one of the things they bring up is the merger, and they talk about how when Turner Broadcasting merged, I can't remember if it was with AOL or the other one, how that had an effect on it. But then, as I said, the commentators were like, yeah, but that all happened in like 93, 94, and the show didn't hit its heyday until 97. So you can't blame the merger before it got popular to say that it declined.
You talking Time Warner and Turner?
Yes. That's the one I was thinking of. So like there's some things that they've kind of picked apart with it. But yeah, it really feels a bit like it's kind of all over the place, and it's not structured. The best way I can describe it, if you're a historian, I'm not really a historian, but I spend a lot of time in the history field. In history, what we kind of train you to do is to look at kind of all of the facts and then form an argument and present your argument. So if you're going to say, who killed WCW? You need to have an argument, and you need to then like be breaking down why you think it is the way it is. And that's not really happening here. And that, it just like, it's interesting, but it like, there's stuff in it that you're just like, okay. Like they talk about Goldberg ending Bret Hart's wrestling career, but what does that have to do with who killed WCW? Yeah. You know, so it's okay. I think, you know, I will give it credit in this. It doesn't have the overarching strong WWE story that you've like, if you ever watched the Monday Night Wars series that WWE put out, you know, that series really depicts that it's, you know, like, wow, we had the Attitude Era and that's how we crushed WCW. Like, they don't really pull that. You know, they don't really mention Stone Cold Steve Austin a lot. They don't really talk about what WWE's doing. About the only real thing that they have shown so far and it was mostly because they were talking about how it happened on the same night. You had the finger poke of doom, and it occurred the same night that Bischoff used a tactic that he used to use when he started. Well, I'm going to spoil what happened on Raw because it was taped, and it's the famous one where he says, "And Mick Foley wins the title." And so
I'll put butts in seats.
Yeah, and everybody then, well, yeah, they turned over, and that was down. Like that happened. But that's about it. Like they don't really get into that. So I'll give them that credit that they're not just playing that, well, the WWE had the Attitude Era and that was a better product. They aren't really going that angle. They are trying to like break it down and talk about a lot of things but they don't dive into it. Like the last one, episode 3, was a lot about Vince Russo's time in WCW. But they didn't really get into anything. They're like, well, the ratings were sinking and this. And it's like, but why? You know, like how bad was it? You know, like I just wanted more details. So, and that's kind of my general stick on it. But it's interesting. If you get a chance to watch it, Kidder, it'd be interesting to see what your take is on it. But
I probably won't. Sounds like it's garbage.
I mean, it's not terrible.
It's
I've definitely seen worse, but it's missing that, like, what is the central argument? Like, I think we're going to get done with the 4th and final part, and it's just going to be, it was a mess of things, and we'll never really know who killed WCW. I think that's the conclusion that we're going to head to, which is partially true. There's a lot of things that brought about its downfall, but it's not like it's explaining a case for case basis. You know, like if it were me, I would have tried to like break it down almost by like, here are the suspects, because again, I think it's a multifaceted. I would maybe do a thing on Eric Bischoff and why he brought down, I might talk about the NWO and creative control amongst the wrestlers. That would be one to talk about. I could talk about Vince Russo. I could talk about the corporate side and just have like an episode focused on that. And I think that would be much stronger presentation.
Creative control from certain core wrestlers like Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair. Kevin Nash.
I mean, they did kind of get into a little bit with Nash and his booking, but like all that really they dove into that was with Nash didn't like Goldberg, so he took the title off Goldberg. But again, then it's like, okay, but how did that bring about the end? Make some conclusions here. So to me, it's sad. It's a rare miss from the guys who do Dark Side of the Ring. So I like those documentaries a lot. Every now and then there's one that you'll watch that's kind of like, eh. And it's like, you clearly needed a 10th episode, and I just don't know that you had anything else in the tank.
The Sandman one was crazy.
I saw that one actually recently.
Mm-hmm.
That one was crazy.
Interestingly enough, Sandman was in an A&E biography for WWE's ECW episode. They highlighted that from the WWE side of things.
Yeah. Well, like I also the other one that I saw just recently was they did the Ballad of John Tenta. So the guy did Earthquake, and that's to me an example of one where there's like, like it was interesting to learn about John Tenta and his life, but I don't really feel like there was a dark side to that story compared to some of the other ones. Like this one's like, yeah, I get that he got cancer and died, and that's sad, and his career came to kind of an end, and like, yeah. But I wouldn't say that's the dark side. That happens to most people who try to get into professional wrestling. It doesn't work out for them. But that's an example. Like it's well told. It's just kind of like, I don't know that this is really the dark side. This is like the depressing side of the ring. Yeah, Kidder. We'd still have to break down Clash at the Castle. I know we've been talking wrestling. But I could go for a second drink. Could you go for a second drink, good sir?
Yeah, probably here. Yeah.
Okay.
What do you got?
I have something I've never had before, but it is local in the sense, I started on the west side of the state. I'm going over to the east side to the Fargo Brewing Company. I have their Kenny's Lemonade Radler.
Mm-hmm.
So citrus tart, bright, 3.2% alcohol by volume, 12 IBUs, proudly brewed in Fargo, North Dakota. Keep cold, drink fresh. So that's all I know about it. I've never had this one. I've always had their Stone's Throw. And I think that's pretty much all I've ever had from the Fargo Brewing Company. Have you had this one, Kidder? Have you had the Radler?
Yeah, I had it at Fargo Brewing.
That's a very nice lemony scent. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. It kind of reminds me of those lemon drop, like hard candies. Like, starts off sour, gets a little sweet at the end. I could see on a hot day crushing like 4 or 5 of these.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's good. I'll give this like a 3.8. What are you having, good sir?
Good.
What are you following up with?
I think mine might have been a little bit better just because it was on tap. But, it's how she goes when you get out to Fargo. I believe this one came from JS. And I'm running down to just the bare bones here. And the next one that's left, aside from the generics, is one that I don't want to drink.
I think I remember which one that one is.
This is the New Glarus Brewing Company. Only in Wisconsin, so it was smuggled out of the Cheesehead State. It's employee owned. And this is the Spotted Cow Grand Cru. It's part of the Thumbprint series, which you see conveniently on the front of the can. Right there. According to the back of the can, which is very easy to read with this black on dark red. This boss cow rules with 9% alcohol by volume and an original gravity of 18.4 degrees Plato. Fine Wisconsin malts step out with hand-chosen Oregon and Washington hops. Fresh coriander and sweet orange peel kick up Dan's special farmhouse ale. Bottle fermented and fresh as an early meadow morning. Great, my allergies are going to kick my ass. Expect Spotted Cow Grand Cru to be an assertively quaffable imperial edition of Wisconsin's favorite local brew. Thanks for supporting the arts, Daniel and Deborah Carey, with their autograph on the can.
Quaffable.
So,
nice bit of vocabulary there.
Yeah, but look how easy that is to read.
I mean, I could see Spotted Cow.
Yeah, I'm talking the text underneath it.
I can't. All I see is squiggly lines, Kidder, and it's not just because your camera's out of focus.
Yeah, I mean, there may be a focus issue, but also let's work on getting some other things.
Someone's kicking down the door.
It happens to be apparently just in time.
I would expect nothing less, but for him to show up just in time for everybody's second favorite segment of the show, and that is What's on Tap Round 2. For those who can't see what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show, JS Gunslinger. How you doing tonight, JS?
Gentlemen, well, doing goodish. I've been out searching for a dog for the last like 3 hours, and I has not found said dog.
Uh oh. Oh man, he's
But-
disrobing. Are we able to show this? Triple B after dark. Bam, 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 bam. We're all gonna Howard, we talked about getting that special site set up like for the bonus features. We're gonna have the belts coming up. Good God, man. Woo!
We're gonna make this episode extra spicy.
I was just introing a beer, and it, I believe, is the one that you brought from Wisconsin, smuggled out of the Cheesehead State, correct?
That would 100% be one of the last ones that I smuggled out of the state and brought for your fine enjoyment pleasure.
Yes. Well, thank you. It's brewed and canned in New Glarus, Wisconsin.
So that is the specialty one that they did. That is their, I want to say it's their like employee special. They pick one every year and brew it that way.
Oh, the website on here, I forgot to mention before, is newglarusbrewing.com. NEWGLARUS brewing.com. So let's fire this thing up, see if it's a worthy drinking opponent being smuggled. Let's see, what? That'd be about 8 hours away.
That one came right from the Minnesota-Illinois border. Right, not Minnesota, Illinois. That doesn't make any sense. It was right when we crossed into...
9% punches you in the face.
Yes!
Did I get a Four Loko? Continue. I'm going to say states wrong here in a second. I'm not even saying states.
That was the first gas station on the Wisconsin side as soon as we crossed into the state coming back from Pennsylvania.
Oh, it's like my God. It's like the apples, some kind of an apple cider ale with gasoline poured in it. Like this isn't just the 93 octane. We're running like 95 or 101.
I mean, I still have my version of that in the fridge. I'm now a little scared.
You know how you get that warmth down your chest when you take a real good shot of whiskey and look at the ceiling fan? That's exactly what this did to me for a second there. I was like, well, okay.
I just liked how specific that was. Of you take a really good shot of whiskey and then you're staring at a ceiling fan.
You keep encouraging people to have a palate cleanser. Good shot of whiskey.
And hey, for the audio listeners, if you're like, what's all this clicking noise in the background? JS is currently under a truck.
Somebody's actually doing work on this show.
You're damn right. I have had this truck torn apart for 2 months. I'm sick of it. Damn it, it's going back together tonight.
This is going to be a long-ass episode.
This might be a two-parter.
And just to make it an even extra special episode, I brought out... I hope future Howie's got the beat button ready, because it's going to be one of those nights.
Uh-oh.
I brought out the green box of mystery, which I still haven't opened up this thing. I don't know what the hell is in there, but we're about to find out.
I have a feeling there could be some cursing at Howie here.
We're going to be super gentle and rip the top of it off. We've got a Dale's American Pale Ale. We've got a Hazy Blues Juicy IPA. We have a Wild Sour Apple Pie. That looks good.
It is.
We have a Bubble Stash IPA with cryo hops or Christmas tree. We have
said butt
a
stash for a second.
strong citrus long drink, and this better be better than that blue or y'all can just.
That one you
F
might
right
want to
off.
start with. Look at the
Although-
details.
This one's got grapefruit in it, so this one's
Oh,
probably
keep going.
good.
Keep going. Look at the numbers.
8%, 8.5%. Good lord. Gin with natural
Maybe don't start with that
grapefruit,
one tonight.
Juniper berry flavors and carbonation. And last but probably
He doesn't want
least,
to finish the truck, so maybe not.
Mas Lima Cerveza, lager with lime and salt.
Por favor.
That might actually be good.
Some of those are good. Some of them are not.
Well, gentlemen, I think we're just gonna get this over with, and we're just gonna try the long drink. We're gonna go into it hard
I love
right
it.
off the bat.
But I also don't think that truck's getting done tonight.
I'm assuming we've had this on the episode before, so let's try this grapefruit berry Christmas.
It is chilled, I hope.
I hope so.
Oh, that one's good.
Look at that. What a
Ooh, that
180.
That one's good. If that blue one had any similarity to this whatsoever, it might be worth actually brewing. This one is good. The red one is good. The blue one could burn in hell.
So two things. One, there's now a peach version that's better than all of them.
Ooh.
So you'll have to look for that. Two, that is the same as the blue. It is just stronger.
Not the same as the blue, because the blue tastes like ass.
I'm just telling you, the blue one is grapefruit as
I
well.
don't know if he got a bad can or if he just had too many palate mixers leading up to that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That blue one was god awful when I drank it. It
Yeah.
was by far probably in the top 3 worst beers I have ever had.
That's saying a lot for this show.
Well, he said he had, not we. So like,
That's true.
he hasn't
I mean-
struggled through some of the other garbage pits that we've dug through.
I mean, I haven't had Black-O-Lantern, but I've had some pretty nasty beers on this show.
Black-O-Lantern. I got to remember to look for that one around October for you, kidder.
No. Unless you want it on your porch on Halloween night from the vomit.
Okay. So the last time I put this thing together, I busted one of these slip rings. And I don't want to do
Whoops.
that again because they're $80 for this little frickin' ring right here.
Don't break it.
Careful.
That's your reminder.
Careful.
Snap. Ah, damn it.
Have you ever seen a truck get lit on fire on a hoist? Because if I break it, you might.
Sweet.
JS, you missed it. I told Kidder, I set my cordless drill on fire tonight.
Ooh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I melted a rotary tool last week when I was doing the range improvements. So yeah, I do know how you feel.
Yeah.
And mine was
Yeah.
a Milwaukee, not whatever cheap brand you probably have.
Mine was mine was a Craftsman.
Okay, well, that's at one point in time they did make good power tools. They don't anymore. They don't make anything good anymore. I'm sorry.
Oh, listen, it's okay. It was kind of cool. It was smoking. There were flames.
Oh, you even got the flame?
Yeah.
Wow.
Listen, when I say I set something on fire, I set something on fire. Like there
That-
are flames.
I've seen a lot of melted ones in my job, or plethora of jobs. I have yet to see one with actual flames coming out of it, so I'm impressed.
Yeah, and of course, somebody wasn't recording said project, and so we have no video evidence.
No proof, didn't happen.
Well, the drill might still be somewhere. I got to figure out where my wife put
On
it.
fire? You might want to fix that.
I was out by the time we.
Sure, it was.
Yeah. Listen, I would have, but I was too busy laughing because that's just my luck that set a drill on fire as I'm about to start a project.
Yep. That's usually how it goes. I mean, you never set them on fire before the project starts.
No. After removing 3 screws, the thing starts on flames.
Yep.
It started on flames?
Listen, I've been drinking.
Hey, Howie.
All right.
Yeah,
Are you parent in charge tonight?
I am not.
3.
Okay, we'll save that because we
That's our next topic.
we have to go through the results of Clash at the Castle, and I do penalty shots. So number 1 will be 3. Hopefully, I get them all right.
You wanna dump right into that since you apparently are willing to take shots, especially for screwing up your drill and not recording it.
Listen. Living embodiment of Charlie Brown. So not only did I set my drill on fire, yes, I didn't record it because that would have been the cool or smart thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I live up to that nickname.
Yeah.
Constantly.
It's time for Clash at the Castle Scotland from June 15th, 2024, the results edition. Howard has the official scorekeeping, the official predictions from the two of us, JS for the hammer time.
Random off-the-wall comedy.
It's well needed.
I will do my best to not interrupt constantly all night, but I can't make any promises. I had a lot of caffeine today, and the squirrels are spinning.
By the time you get to the end of that long drink, you're going to wish you had stepped back a couple.
I'm almost there, so.
By the time he finishes that long drink, the squirrels are going to be spinning in a completely different way.
Opposite directions, probably.
Yeah.
All right. Live from Glasgow, Scotland, airing at 1 p.m. Central Time with 11,391 in attendance. That one person always there by himself. Clash at the Castle! So, bonus question. We had first one. Will there be a match on the pre-show? Because they do the kickoff.
And Kidder, you said yes. I said no. And if you're wondering, why are we doing, bonus questions and all of this? And what's this scorekeeping? The very quick rundown. Kidder and I have been watching pay-per-views and premium live events for many, many years. We play a little prediction game. Whoever gets the most questions correct at the end of the event gets the now defunct WWE pay-per-view bragging rights. Kidder is the current holder of bragging rights. We'll see if I can get away with it and steal it back. That's the quick breakdown. I also do penalty shots if you didn't pick up on that. So, Kidder, you said yes. I said no. Was there a match on the kickoff?
No, even though there was on the Backlash France. Who's making these rules and why? This is dumb. Anyway, this is the first major pay-per-view live streaming event held in the UK since Insurrection 2003, and first in a UK stadium since the 1992 SummerSlam.
Wait, didn't they do Clash of the Castle once before in the UK?
Last year. That was in Cardiff, Wales.
Still part of the UK.
Yeah, well, you can go on Wikipedia and you can correct them. Do it under your account. Especially after you've had a few. All right. So there's that one. The other bonus question was related to CM Punk and our World Heavyweight Championship match. So we'll get there later. First up, undisputed WWE Championship match. My son, Cody Rhodes, versus AJ Styles in an I Quit match.
This was the leadoff?
Yeah, number one. Bam. Here it is. Straight up. Makes me want to quit. 27 minutes, 45 seconds long. And I'm sure you already saw, but Cody Rhodes picks up the victory over AJ Styles. Cody ended up handcuffing him into the corner. And Cody turns around, picks up the steel steps, comes over, and he's gonna bash bash AJ Styles with the steps. AJ's I quit, and then Rhodes with it anyway. And then Solo Sikoa and the Bloodline attacked Cody Rhodes until Randy Orton and Kevin Owens came in to fend them off. Next up, triple threat.
I just gotta say, we both had Cody Rhodes, so we both got a point.
Oh, thank you. Next match is a triple threat tag team match for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship of the World. Jade Cargill, the champions, versus the Unholy Union, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, versus Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. This match is 12 minutes, 10 seconds. You had Bianca and Jade to retain, and I had Shayna and Zoe Stark.
Yep.
This was kind of interesting because Bianca and Jade connected with a DDT wheelbarrow suplex combination to Shayna Baszler, but then Isla Dawn came running in, pinned Baszler for the 3 count to pick up the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. And I had no idea that they were from Scotland. Otherwise, I would have chosen them.
Neither of us get a point, and JS said 3, so I am pouring myself a shot of 3.
This is getting worse the longer I drink it.
Yes.
And cheers to that.
If you know, you know. That is such a nice, earthy flavor to it.
Earthy.
Yeah,
Earthy.
I'm trying to.
Have we let on what 3 is?
I drop clues here and there. That's a good first one.
Is it? Does it taste like Structure Fire?
No.
Oh, okay.
I love that analysis.
I'm not wrong, am I?
Nope. Match number 3 is the singles match for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. 22 minutes, 15 seconds, featuring the champion Sami Zayn versus Chad Gable with Otis and Maxine Dupree.
And we both had Sami Zayn to retain.
Chad Gable put the ankle lock on Sami Zayn. Gable inadvertently chop blocked Maxine Dupree, who had an injured leg. Otis picked up Maxine, walked away from Gable, refusing to help him win. Zayn hit a haluva kick and a 1-2-3, retaining the IC.
Okay, point for both. I was just going to say, Kidder, I'm ahead 3-2.
WWE Women's Championship. This match is 13 minutes, 30 seconds. Bayley versus Piper Niven with Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green is out there and starts messing with Bayley on the outside. Green starts yelling at the ref. The ref ejects her from the arena. Green then comes back down to ringside wearing a luchador mask and attempts to distract the referee. Niven headbutted Bayley, who planted Niven with the crucifix driver, that is, to pick up the victory and retain the WWE Championship, as well as earning the right to become Queen of the Ring, Nia Jax's challenger for the title match at SummerSlam that nobody is interested in.
Yeah. And Kidder, you had Bayley retaining, so you get a point. I went with Piper Niven, thinking that this would have been the local person who they might put the title on, also not knowing that the new tag team champions were from Scotland. Which means I got one wrong. So, JS, between your grunting, I need a number between 1 and 4.
40 and 2.
Can you do like half and half between 4 and 2?
How about we go with
He's like,
1.5.
no, that's gonna be really bad.
Listen, whole numbers here, please.
Let's go for 1. Let's see how bad 1 is.
I mean, 42 is a whole number. A whole lot of shots.
Kidder already knows this because he's seen me take this one before, but 1 is not my favorite.
Yay! I win.
1 is pretty terrible, and if you've ever seen my reaction to this before, hey, you know.
Malort!
He almost had to take his headphones off.
Oh.
Breathe.
Oh.
Let out the gasoline.
That is just not appealing whatsoever.
Everclear or Malort?
Neither of those.
Oh, wow!
Neither of those.
There's something else that's that bad.
So this
juice.
This JS, this particular one, it starts off tasting what it's supposed to taste like, and then it hits you with the most strong, vile alcohol. Like, it's just wham. And so Kidder laughs every time I take it because literally you'll see it hit me, and like I start shaking because it's just like, ugh.
Interesting.
Yeah, that one's bad. If you have any sort of decency, you won't pick 1 again. Hopefully I don't miss another one.
I think I know what I'm picking all of them from here on.
Get rid of that bottle real quick.
Sorry, Local Geek, I might be messing up the numbers again. Okay.
All right. Last one is the main event. Sorry. It's time for the main event. Singles match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship of the world. 20 minutes, 20 seconds in length. Champion Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre. And I believe both of us picked Damian Priest to retain. Damian Priest to retain.
Yes, we both picked Damian Priest to retain, and we also had a bonus question, Kidder, which you alluded to, which would CM Punk get involved in this match? And we both said yes.
There are some shenanigans. Referee gets knocked out, thrown out of the ring. McIntyre.
Oh, drop it, caught it with my foot.
McIntyre had a burst of energy, pinned Damian Priest. Referee slides into the ring. 1, 2, stops and gets up and goes like this. For 2, Drew looks over. The camera angle switches. CM Punk is staring him straight in the face with the 2 count. 2 count. Kicked out. McIntyre gets up. CM Punk's looking him in the face. Bam! Straight in the family jewels. With the low blow. Priest hits south of heaven, the choke slam. McIntyre, the other official, suddenly wakes up as per Howard's official training. And 1, 2, 3, Damian Priest retains with somewhat of a ankle injury. CM Punk then celebrates with the crowd afterward. I was on here with Rude Boy. We were trucking, and I was watching. Definitely not distracted driving. Right when the official got knocked out, I'm like, Rude Boy, there goes. The official just got knocked out of the arena. Here comes the shenanigans. It's your favorite part of the match. It's coming down. Here it comes. There, it's shenanigans left, right, bam. Oh, man, look at this. Another referee out of nowhere. 1, 2, CM Punk, CM Punk, CM Punk. And Rude Boy is just rolling on the other end of this thing. And I'm like, there's your DraftKings screwy finish of the night. There it is. It happened. CM Punk screws Drew McIntyre. Got him right in his own country. Bam.
I was going to ask if that was the screwy
Too much
finish. No. That just perfect. Kidder, that for those who can keep score and such at home, because I'm not going to put up the graphic because Teacher Howard's getting a little lazy these days. Kidder, we once again have tied. We both get 4 correct, which means tie goes to the champion. Kidder, you are still holding on to that defunct WWE pay-per-view. Bragging rights.
Somebody's got to hold on to it so it stays relevant.
Well, I went for a very long run of holding it, and now it's just I just can't seem to win it back from you. It's the good news is, though, I got both of those right, and I don't have to do any more penalty shots tonight.
Oh, I'm sure we can come up with something.
No.
No. Also, I would like to mention, tonight, SmackDown was in Chicago. CM Punk opened the show and called out Drew McIntyre and such. Had a nice moment with Paul Heyman. That was good. And then the Bloodline came out. Cody Rhodes came in, intervened. The equalizer with the baseball bat, fantastic. And then later in the episode, people are arguing backstage. It was DIY and Grayson Waller in front of one of the garage doors, and all of a sudden you hear the kind of a thud against the garage door, and the dude opens it up, and it's Drew McIntyre standing there, CM Punk laying on the ground all bloody. Drew picked him up, brought him back into the arena, and dumped him, and he's bleeding all over. And then EMTs came in, scooped up CM Punk, put him on the stretcher, brought him out to the ambulance, and then put him in and whoop, 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 up the ramp, and there went CM Punk.
They're doing some good storytelling with the whole Drew McIntyre CM Punk. I actually saw a clip, Kidder, of the whole CM Punk referee screwing over Drew McIntyre from the view of the fans.
Yeah.
And to listen to them, like, as soon as they realized what was happening, they were swearing like JS has been swearing at that truck tonight. I was surprised it was still up on social media. It was...
That's good. You got to give it the hawk.
The hawk-taw.
Hawk-taw.
There's going to just be some very long beeps in this episode.
Howard, that fits under if you know, you know, apparently. Because I woke up yesterday morning and I'm like, what in the fresh hell is this?
I had no idea either. I had to look it up. All right, Future Howard. That one hurt.
I'm sorry. Not as sorry as Future Howard is that he's going to have to edit that. But
yeah, well, y'all invited me. You knew it was coming.
Okay. So truthfully, Kidder invited you and didn't tell me, as is what he usually does. But hey, speaking of like censoring, Kidder, I have to admit something. We put out that mini episode this week. I missed a curse word in it. I was listening to it because it was all of like 24 minutes. You haven't checked it out. It's great. It's comedy gold. Kidder snuck one past me on it. I heard it on the replay. I was like, oh,
I did?
You did.
Wow.
Yep. There was one that got by. I was like, oh, I missed it.
An F-bomb?
No.
That's not so bad then.
Nah, I mean, it did.
The others are socially acceptable these days.
They tend to be, but as I said, some platforms get really like overly serious about it. So I try to catch them all. But
usually I try and keep my language to a R rating, but
I have to laugh. What are the comments we got? Because we talked about there's a bit at the end of that little mini episode where I say, we're family friendly, and you kind of chuckled and I said, okay, well, I'm family friendly. Local Geek actually had to write a comment and it said, hey, I try to be family friendly too. Like, yeah, okay.
No, I am definitely the one that ruins the rating. I will throw that out there. My apologies.
I mean, at least you apologize for it. It's okay.
I'm probably going to continue to do it. However, sorry.
Hey, dang, we started off this show with a, yeah, you can go ahead and curse. mentality. So I'm not going to stop you now.
Well, I am trying. It's, just certain projects like this one are frustrating.
In fairness, I sent out the invite to a bunch of people. See who answers the call.
And JS did. So JS, we know that you're fixing the truck. You haven't said what exactly was the problem. What's the diagnosis? What are you trying to overcome on this?
Hopefully you got that on camera.
No, you were just slightly off camera.
Oh, damn.
You did it. Most people could see the action. You just can't quite see the crunch. It was...
Gotcha. I'm ready for round 2. But I am rebuilding and replacing a differential in the front end of a 2003 Ford F-150. I had some noise and some bearing damage up in the front end of the truck. So I have the front diff torn apart, and I am currently working on putting said differential back together. The problem I'm running into is these little frickin' shims right here. There's a bearing on each side of your differential carrier, and these preload spacers are what keep it from moving back and forth and are what set the thing in place once it's in there. There, that's better. Now you can see. The problem is those damn little spacers are really difficult to get in place because it is milled exactly the right width for this to go in. And I put in new bearings, which might be a few thousandths over. And I'm assuming that possibly these spacers, or that these bearings being there a few thousandths over, these shims now are possibly a little bit too big. So you can see right up in there kind of the alignment issue I'm having. These things have to go in perfectly straight. However, the front diff is extremely difficult to get in perfectly straight because it's just kind of hanging there by one bolt, and it's heavy as hell. So getting it in place and whatnot is proving challenging. The rear diff are generally much simpler, but the fronts can be kind of a pain in the dick.
Well, you can just shove it in there and then go off-roading, and that'll fix it, right?
Yes. There is a fire sale on a pickup if anybody would like to purchase one. I will throw in all the parts necessary to repair said vehicle. Just get it out of my garage.
That's a bonus right there.
I would say I was actually just talking to my father-in-law about how the next time I upgrade a vehicle, I might have to look at getting a truck. But I am not mechanically inclined enough to fix said truck, so I'll have to pass, JS.
Yeah. It's been a good truck. She's had a good run, but it's time. There is 225,000 miles on this thing. It's time.
He's just sick of dealing with it. That's what it is.
At this point, I've gotten very, very good at fixing it. I have had every major component in this vehicle apart, including the engine. It's been a good rig, but she's had her days.
Howard needs a shot of sadness there to pour out.
I was just thinking how I should just edit in taps at that point.
Yeah. I mean, it would be fitting.
This does not get better as it goes.
Oh. Are you still nursing that one?
Well, I'm probably in the last quarter of it, maybe a third.
I just finished my second.
For another one.
Well, go ahead and have another one.
Yeah.
All right.
So, because we've already done round 2. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to everybody's weird favorite interjected segment. What's on tap? Round 2, JS edition. Drink. I even gave you an intro.
We have the Beast Ale Brewery's Wild Sour Apple Pie. 12 fluid ounces of hopefully apple Everclear goodness. 4.6%, kind of weak. 10 IBUs. Seasonal sour ale inspired by the flavors of classic American pie. Dessert brewed with a tart apple, cinnamon flavors, and lactose. Okay, kind of sounds like it's going to taste like ass now.
No,
This
no.
ale hits all the notes with a light body and tart finish. Cheers.
It tastes like apple pie, man.
I mean, why would they put lactose in apple pie?
So that you get that creamy texture.
Definitely has an apple pie taste to it. I mean, it's good. Like even the aftertaste is damn near straight up like warm apple pie in your hand. The apple pie that I make has a wee bit more burn to it, and about 100 more proof.
Well, this is not apple pie, the alcoholic drink. This is apple pie, as in like the type you would have with ice cream.
Yes.
You know, Americana. America.
That's not
Fuck
bad.
yeah.
I would drink another one of those. I do like the sour. It's very tart. I like the sour beers. They have become one of my favorites. Yeah, I'm pleased with that one. On the black long drink, I'm gonna say a 3. Apple pie, probably right in the same ballpark, right in that 2.93 area. They're both good. For a night of drinking, I'm probably not drinking very many of these apple pies because I have a feeling that it's gonna destroy the gut if there are too many of them consumed in one sitting.
Kind of where I am with this Wisconsin thing. I'm like,
I'll have to give that one a try here, Kidder, in the near future. So
probably next week because you'll be one and done.
will I? Will I?
I mean, it's 9% alcohol.
You know, truthfully, I have a couple of beverages in the old beer fridge that are in that like 8 and 9 range, and I just every time I look at them, I'm like, I kind of have to get up the next morning. So
Just tap it in. Just
tomorrow I have to get up for sure because my father-in-law will be here at like between 8 and 8:30 so that we can get these deck stairs taken care of. So
yeah.
I'm hoping to have them done in just a couple of hours.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to say, being that he's an engineer, he sometimes gets a little too like, he thinks things through like a lot. Like it gets really slow sometimes. So it take a bit.
That will happen when you're dealing with engineers.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things like I can't complain because he provided the truck so I could haul the lumber. He's bringing the sawhorses and he's bringing the circular saw. So it's like everything I need. And he's willing to come and just help. But it does mean that it's like he'll bring up different things. He'll give different options. But then it's always like, you got to decide. You have to decide. It's like, let's just do this.
So what kind of stairs are you doing?
Just some very simple stairs. The stairs that were on my deck are basically just a little 2-step stringer, which is some 1x6 on them, but they've gotten old enough now where, and especially the one set that it hits like all of the rain and such. It was just literally the board was rotting and falling apart. So
Gotcha.
Since the rest of the deck is pretty solid, you know, it's like not going to put on, like normally I'd put on like a maintenance free product, but I have a feeling that, you know, in the next 5-10 years, I might have to just redo the whole deck.
I know someone that's got some decking experience. Get her. You got this.
I'll provide the beer.
Times cut twice.
Ow, mother.
That's okay. The Dorschmidt family motto is, measure 3 times, cut 4.
Yep. That's a good way to work at it. On that last deck that I did, there is a lot of measuring and cutting and then recutting and then recutting again and then getting a new board because I f***ed up the first one.
We give my dad just so much crap because he's also an engineer, but he can't cut anything straight to save his life. When he did the foyer on their in their current house, and it's all just basically plywood. My brother actually wrote on one of the interior walls, so whoever opens it up next to do that will find a little thing that says, "I'm sorry, my dad was unable to put these walls up straight."
Nice.
Yeah, we've given my dad a lot of grief about his surprising inability to measure things correctly.
Yeah, it wasn't so much measuring correctly on this, is that nothing was square. So I had to make everything square. And that was challenging.
So it shouldn't be a bad project, but he wants to get here early and get it done, and I don't blame him. I kind of want to do the same, so all right, because I just don't want to work on it all day. But just like, it really should just be as simple as, because we're replacing the stringers, but just unscrewing everything, screwing the new stringers on, cutting the boards, screwing those on, done. That should be all it is, but we've already made one trip to Menards. So,
but we've already made one. You might as well make 3 more.
Well, I always say it's not a good project until you make 3 trips. So
true. You are correct. I am a connoisseur of the fine goods of the Menards.
He too saves big money.
I do frequent the establishment.
It's always interesting how many people are in there every time you go. I actually
can't find the employees.
Certain times of the day are much worse than others.
Oh yeah, I had to laugh. I saw a guy when I was walking in there, came walking out. All he had was a gallon of milk.
Nice.
It's just like, I get that they sell, that stuff, but usually people come out with like other stuff besides just groceries.
If they sold decent guns, I'd never have to leave.
I actually saw a review while I was looking at stuff that said, "I'm in Menards all the time. If they were to put a bar in here, I'd never leave."
They used to have a really cool coffee machine in the back, but they took that out a while ago. That was like 10 years ago or more, but they had a really cool little coffee machine that would make you coffee, and then there'd be a card game on the little cups that you would get.
Well, Kidder, we've been talking for quite a while, and as I said, I got to get up early because my father-in-law is going to be here ready to roll. So it's probably time that we wrap this episode up. And to do that, I probably should give some plugs, where people can find us and such.
First place, best place, probably what you need is right here, beerbluesbs.com. Beerbluesbs.com. It is the place for the Triple B. Also, if you'd like to sponsor us or something, there's a bunch of dust in this. Haven't picked it up in a bit. Beer Blues BS, you can pick up one of these pint glasses for yourself. The Triple B variety. The perfect Kidder Old Fashioned. Maybe something with just a logo on it there. Or even, yes, my face on the front of it. Or Howard's. Got a few things there. Maybe even a nice sign. Triple B sign. You can do that. Lots of stuff. T-shirts. Swimsuits. Everything. And, yeah. We need your help. So buy some merch, because it's been a week. BeerBluesBS.com. Click on merch. By the way, Howard, we got to switch that over to the other site.
Oh, we do?
At some point. I don't know what's wrong with the other one, but it was being slow today when I tried to pull it up. But Anyway, that's neither here nor there. What you need to know is beerbluesbs.com, because that's the place to go. You can also buy us a beer, buy us a round. That would be helpful and important, because that money goes to the show, goes right back into the show, helps us keep this show going, because it's like $120 a month just to keep this thing on the train tracks, keeping it rolling. Yeah, exactly. That's how I feel too. Yeah. Anyway, there's that. So please help us out. Buy some beer, buy some shirts, buy a hat, stocking cap. You know, it's only like 100 degrees outside, so you might as well get a stocking cap. Other than that, Facebook and Instagram, search for Beer Blues BS. Please follow us and share, subscribe, like, all the good things. Again, Beer Blues and BS. Just search for them right there, and bam, good to go. Next up, we're on all of the audio platforms. YouTube podcasts, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Stitcher, TuneIn, IMDb, Player FM, and probably more. So if you have an audio platform that's out there, just search Beer Blues BS and smash that sub button. We're also video version right there at YouTube. You can watch us on demand anytime, anywhere for free on YouTube. Just search for Beer Blues and BS, or go to youtube.com/@BeerBluesBS. Otherwise, what else do we have, Howard?
I mean, I think you pretty much covered it. Although, you know, you didn't mention the fact that, hey, it's road trip season. You might be on the road. You might want some tunes while you're on the road. And for that, you should check out the Killer Kidder Show on Spotify. It's a very strongly curated playlist. So a great way to rock out while you're driving out. I lost it right there at the end, but I mean, I was trying, man.
I appreciate it. I mean, you did the thing. And get this, if you have a road trip, a long road trip, there's almost 8,000 songs in this playlist, personally curated by me. It'll get you through 526 hours and 35 minutes of driving. So you could probably drive to the moon and back. I don't know. Whatever that equals out to, you can do it.
So you're saying we could make it to Florida?
Yeah.
What about Texas?
Probably all of the states at 526 hours. I don't know.
Ooh, all right.
I am burping up that number one shot, and I'm not enjoying it.
Well, seeing as though Howard is dying, I don't think we have any more cheap plugs. And I'm not going to waste that on his final thought. So, well, you're still not throwing up. Final thought, Howard.
Final thought. That's gosh, I should have been thinking of a final thought, but I was trying to survive the return of shot one. Hey, it's a very simple one. As we're, making our way through the you know what? I got one. Okay, sorry. I stalled for a little bit.
Our way downtown.
I was just gonna say, that everybody has been hearing, and I've talked about the saga of us trying to get a helicopter for Oscar Zero. Gentlemen, we made the first payment, so the helicopter should be on its way soon. So we're just working on getting our trucking set up, and we should have a helicopter at Oscar Zero. So there's a final thought. Something exciting finally coming.
You know, Howie, you'd be proud of me. I did go down and tour Oscar Zero a couple weeks ago.
I was going to ask you because Kidder shared. What'd you think of Oscar Zero?
I thought it was pretty cool. I really did. I had an idea of what they looked like on the inside all the way down. I'd been inside one before, but not quite that much in detail. So that was cool.
Yeah. Who did you have as a tour guide?
It was a younger gal that was out there. She did awesome, super good guide. I just can't remember names for more than 15 seconds at a time. So
I was going to say, it might have been Abby. Might have been. Okay. Yeah, she's my outreach coordinator out there. So
yes, I believe it was her.
Yeah, she's good. She's been with us for a couple of years now. So
Yep. We all had a good time. So
yeah,
she did inform me, however, that your wind speed direction does not work on your weather station out there.
Yeah, they've had some issues with that. So we'll get Kidder. When I get Kidder out there, he can help them fix it.
Give me a baseball bat.
Do we know what's wrong with it?
You know what, I did at one time, but that has been such a minor issue in the world that I deal with. I don't quite remember what the whole story was, but yeah.
Sounds like you need to twist the post a bit and just center it up that way. The old-fashioned move it to make it work right, and then give it some spray of good lube.
So anyway, that was my final thought.
Okay. JS, you got a final thought?
I got a couple. I don't know how PG they are.
Well, good night, everybody.
Teach your kids how to do like this, because if the women don't find you handsome, they better at least find you handy.
Sage advice from the man who is not wearing suspenders or a plaid shirt.
They're both in the house.
Are they the official ones or the JS style?
I do have the JS style. However,
okay,
I also have a pair of suspenders that says UFTA in big black letters. So,
okay,
you know.
You can actually buy the official red-green suspenders, shirts, hats, everything.
That's awesome.
I think redgreen.com, but
ooh, I might have to check that out. There's something to be said about being able to fix your own stuff, whether it be something like this in depth or minor stuff, about not being dependent entirely on other people. There's always that small level of dependency on other people when it comes to certain projects. However, you need to be able to be your own person and teach your kids how to be their own person.
That's a great one, and I agree with you, because I will tell you, since I have entered the world of being an adult, there are times where I wish I would have gone to shop class or woodworking and learned some of these things, so that I had some of these skills and wasn't trying to learn it on my own. So right. I totally agree with you that that should be something that when we talk about schooling and required curriculum, there really should be some of these things that you need for being an adult.
Shop class should be mandatory for every student, 7th through 12th grade, period. Pick one. There are hundreds of different shop classes, but shop class should be mandatory for every student, 7th through 12th grade, every year. Whether it be engine and automotive or woodworking or general maintenance, you should be required to take a shop every year, period. That's just my take. I also think schools should teach, fiscal responsibility, how to balance a checkbook, how to set up an IRA, how to do things like that.
Yep.
Instead of Pythagorean theorems and theories and putting letters in math. Maybe we should focus on some real world stuff.
I very much agree with you on that. When I was a teacher back in those days, At the one school, I actually taught a personal finance class, and it taught stuff like that because as I told the kids, we taught it senior year. It's like, you're going to go out into the world. You're going to wish you knew some of this stuff. Here's all the stuff that I wish I had known.
That's what teachers should be. Like that.
Well,
There should be more of that.
Well, I think some of that also gets into, we should really, look at kids and go, what is it that you really want to do? And help direct you in that direction. If you were to tell me, hey, I want to be a mechanic, and you know that for a fact, great. Let's not push you into advanced mathematics. Let's make sure you do the shop classes, maybe a couple of business classes so that you could run your own shop. Yeah, you're probably going to still have to do some math. Probably wouldn't hurt to do a little, English and social studies and, like some of that. But the greater emphasis should be on the skills that you need to do to go into the career you want to go into.
Yes. Yes. 100% yes.
That's my take. Mm-hmm. So.
Yep. I agree with you.
All right, Kidder, I think we gave you some very well thought out final thoughts.
I appreciate those final thoughts. My final thoughts. The monkey memes are really funny right now. The Justin Timberlake memes are out there. He was arrested for DUI a few days ago in New Jersey. And then the Hawk 2 everywhere. Yeah. Like when the doctor starts the prostate exam, but you still feel both hands on your shoulders. And the monkey.
Yes.
All right. I don't know if he's been caught up on that. So there you go, Howard.
Thanks for keeping me relevant.
Yeah. Anytime. Happy to do something for this.
Yes. Those were some good. Those were some good ones.
Yeah. Anyway, there it is. Time to get the hell on out of here. For JS Gunslinger knocking down the door and knocking the bearings loose on his truck. For Howard Blues with the loose bearings up top. And for me, well, you got other things to say. I am the man, the myth, legend, Mark Kidder, and let's get on out of here because it's time to wrap this thing up. So, free beer tomorrow. Got to keep your glass at least half full and hopefully a lot better tastiness of the beverages as we roll on down that beer chugging huck to sort of something or other Tuscan Highway. Have a good one. See you on the next episode of Beer, Blues, and Beers.
You have been listening to a UA production of Beer, Blues, and BS. If you enjoyed the show, help others find out about it by rating the show or leaving a review at your podcast listening service of choice. Thanks for listening, and may your glass never be empty. UA Productions presents A Glimpse Behind the Curtain.
All right. Another episode down.
Oh, you're lucky I had that one muted. Mother, that hurt.
Right on the fingers.
Oh, got my finger in the belt sander. That hurt real bad.
Ooh.
You all right?
Yeah, I still got a finger.
Good.
I was putting pressure on it, and I sucked my finger in between this bearing. I'm having to relieve some metal off these spacers because I think the one I got is too big. Combination of the new bearings and whatnot. So I'm relieving some metal off these, and I got my finger in between the shim and my that hurt.
You got Jimi Hendrix with you?
Yes, I do.
He's probably the one you've been talking about him. He's probably the one who put your finger in the belt sander. Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, I burnt that good. I'd like to say that's the first time I've gotten my finger in the belt sander, but it's not. Oh, it still stings. I'm opening another beer. Mas Lima Cerveza. That sounds good. That is not a good combination with wild apple pie and grapefruit.
Sounds like you need a palate cleanser. May I recommend a shot of whiskey?
That would require me to go all the way in the house.
That's okay. I'm just trying to get a catchphrase over, JS.
And if I didn't have to walk my lazy ass all the way into the house, I would very much consider that. Okay. Let's try this now. I think I took a couple thousand off it, so.
Well, at least you did that off your finger.
Yeah, I guarantee you I took a couple layers off that finger.
I don't mean to laugh, but every damn time that we have a project, that you have a project, it's not even we. I'm not even going to bring me into this. That you have a project. What's JS going to do today? Is he going to lose a finger or a toe? You got to stay tuned to find out.
Speaking of which, I got to get over to your place, and we got to edit that video, because I got to get that over to those guys.
Yeah. I have the parts downloaded, and I was like, oh, there's like an hour and 15 minutes of video. Howard's looking confused now. He wanted to edit it. I'll just send it over, Howard. It's very nice of you to volunteer your time.
That was like so nice of you, Howie. I can't believe you would be willing to do that for me. You are the best video editor ever.
Sorry. As the guy who's edited this show for like 3 years with like maybe 1 or 2 videos done by Kidder, but I have done the majority of them. Wait, you're moonlighting for somebody else? You couldn't like help me out and edit an episode every once in a while? Huh?
Moonlighting. That sounds like too much work. We gotta. I
tell you what. We'll send it to you for final editing and approval.
Just screw that. I got enough stuff to do with this show.
We all know the only thing you really have to edit out is all of my cursing. So, which sometimes is a lot.
Sometimes Kidder gives me like a whole bunch of like reference photos that I have to like put into the episode.
I do apologize some days. I'm not intentionally trying to make it that bad, but this project is...
Usually, for the most part, I don't mind if they're like contained in a section and if they're not at the end of the show. Because like when I get to the end of the show, I just want to like end it. And then when there's like, it's like kind of once I get past cheap plugs, then I'm like, okay, I just want to be done. So that's where I have like the least amount of tolerance for swearing.